Welcome back, everybody. So this is part 3. How's your plumbing? Do you ever really think about your plumbing? In part 2, we were talking about how, the medical system took the credit for getting rid of all the infectious diseases. Well, guess what? Guess who really did it? It was the plumber. Because once you get your plumbing in order, which can only be done by you when it comes to your body, then you'd be surprised what kind of a wonderful life, and your life is not going to be stinking, as we would say. Okay, so here we go. So this one is called part 3, how's your plumbing? All gassed up and ready to blow. And let me tell you something. This is an epidemic. Take a look at the people around you. Take a look at all the people that have that little 2-month, 3-month, 4-month pregnancy. And then how about the men that have 6- and 9-month pregnancy? Nobody even gives it a second thought anymore. Because now abnormal has become normal. Oh yeah, and let me tell you something, it certainly has. You know what, did you ever go walking down the street and you see on the corner 3 guys and they're all there rubbing their tummy or picking away at their crotch? Well, guess what? We're talking about a toxic, explosive bomb in there. Okay, now did you ever, you know why they're rubbing their tummy? Well, they're not rubbing their tummy because they're making a wish. They're rubbing their tummy to try to calm down their core. Because you need to understand something. From underneath your ribs, your floating ribs, down to your pubic bone, that's where 80 to 85% of your energy is stored. Oh, wait a minute. No. When your core is almost on the floor, when it's falling out and down, that's your immune system. You don't have any energy. And then you say, oh, honey, I've worked hard all night. All day, and I don't have any energy tonight. Well, you know what? If you start really thinking is not called a busy mind. Most people don't even think, like I've said before. Only, guess what? Only 2% of the population actually think. Okay? All right? Okay? And 3% of the population think they think. Right? And then guess what? The other 95% of the population, okay, would rather die than think. And that's what's going on right now, okay? So just understand, these people that you see with these tummies that are sticking straight out, they're full of gas. Do you think that if you took a pin and you did a little poke in their tummy, they'd fly around the room? I don't think so. But I'll tell you one thing, it would be one hell of a stink because that's putrefaction in there. So I just want to say something here, and I'm not picking on anybody. So don't be coming and trying to attack me because guess what? Sometimes big is not beautiful. And you know what? This whole big, beautiful thing, this has all been put out there by corporations like the clothing corporations, the food corporations, the drug industry. They all know that if you get big and beautiful, you're going to be full of inflammation because the bigger you get, the more inflammation you have. The more inflammation you have, the more putrefaction you have in you because you're rotting. We're spoiled rotten today. We're spoiled rotten in so many ways. Okay? So understand something. What has become normal is actually abnormal. Okay, the flat toned tummies, we're the minority now, okay? And understand something. Corporation America is so corrupt, they don't care. They're gonna make money off you and money off you by the pound. And guess what? And the way things are going, we're all going up in weight. There's a lot of pounds there and they're pounding us with it, okay? It's called the harvest. So here it is, guys. What's gonna happen? Fart attack or heart attack? What's it gonna be? So where does all this gas come from? Okay? Where does all this gas come from? Oh, nobody has a clue. It's boggled the mind of scientists and medical doctors for at least 100 years. And it's going to continue to because guess what? Do you know what they call a mystery? Ignorance. Let's run for the cure. Let's jump for the cure. Let's swim for the cure. Let's cut our hair off for the cure. Let me tell you something. If they got you running around for the cure, it means that they don't have it. Because the cure can only be found in nature. And unless you want to embrace nature, then you can forget it. You're the cause of all your pain and all your inflammation. Because are you part of that 2% or part of that 3%? Or are you part of that 95% that would rather die than think for themselves? So where does all this gas come from? Well, this gas is called endotoxin. The endotoxin actually comes from bad bacteria because why? Because you have bad thoughts. You have a bad diet, okay? And that's it right there. So what goes in your mind and in your mouth, okay, it comes out as an end product. Oops, the other end, right? Mouth front door, rectum back door. So, good bacteria. Good bacteria? Are you kidding me? Your good bacteria called your second brain. Your good bacteria mainly live in your large intestine. So you know that sewer dump down there that you don't respect? That's the biggest part of your immune system. Those bacteria talk to your brain 12 times for every time your brain talks to them. So who's really in charge? Did you know that for every one cell you'd have 10 bacteria? So you're mainly just a walking glob of bacteria. Unless you're going to respect that fact, you're going to be creating enough endotoxin that you're going to get headaches, sinus problems, pressure on your chest, okay, pressure in your abdomen, okay? You're going to have ovarian problems, uterine problems, bladder problems, low back problems, varicose veins, okay? You're going to have swelling throughout the body. So good bacteria is everything. But understand something. I'm going to prove to you that buying probiotics, prebiotic, postbiotic is not the key. No. Mummy's bacteria is the key. There's your focus. So environment is everything. Like Louis Pasteur said, the bug is nothing. The terrain is everything. Okay? So let me ask you a question. What came first? The swamp or the mosquito? You didn't go to work and Betty Lou, who you don't really like, sneezed and gave you a cold. Your immune system's so low that if there's any bug or virus that comes into you, it says, honey, I'm home, because you're a swamp. Because first comes the swamp, then comes the mosquito. Now for you, first comes spoiled rotten down here, and then comes everything from what? Worms, parasites, bad bacteria, virus, and lots of fungus. Okay, so stagnation. So guess what? That means that if the waste inside of you is stagnating, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to putrefy. It's going to have putrefaction. Did you ever forget it was a hot summer's day and you forgot to take the garbage out? Or you went away and you came back 3 days later and you could smell the stench all over the house? Well, that would be your body. So you have to understand something. You cannot let things stagnate, because if they stagnate, they putrefy. And putrefaction is what turns your good bacteria into bad bacteria. And once that happens, they start giving endotoxin. Now, but also that putrefaction creates what? Mold. Oh, what would that be? Turning your yeast, which is natural, into a fungus. What would that be? Turning good viruses into bad viruses. What would that be? When's the last time you saw a manure pile that you dug into it and you didn't see a worm? So now you got worms through your body. So do all the worm cleanses you want, you little swamp pile, and they're not going to go away. You're going to be cleansing until the cows come home. So stagnation, putrefaction goes to what? Intoxication. Well, all that gas, guess what? You've got water, which, absorbs pretty well. But the best thing is when you make something into a gas, it's permeable and it goes right through your whole body. So you're just poisoning everything. Hey, remember the last time you went to a barn? And you walked into this pig barn or this farm barn, okay? Where there's not a lot of ventilation. Made you choke. You couldn't get your breath. Well, what do you think's happening to every cell in your human body? Every cell. It's on its way to you-know-where, okay? So now, stagnation, putrefaction, intoxication, inflammation. The more inflammation you have, the more toxic you are. The more inflammation you have, the bigger you're going to grow, the more fat you're going to have to store this. So the more inflammation you have, you get crystallization. Because those sticky glicky food, that sticky glicky poop that won't want to come out? Well, now you got sticky glicky cells, and those cells are crystallizing. We call that caramelization. People get it when they eat a lot of refined carbohydrates, sugar, flour, and you know the story. So then with the crystallization and with the inflammation, your body sends fibrin, which creates scar tissue to try to deaden the pain because you're not thinking properly. So now, with that scar tissue, the crystallization, Don't you think you've got more stagnation? And with more stagnation, your oxygen supplies go down. You're not picking up the nutrients anymore. When you don't pick the nutrients up in the cells, what do you got? You got these little log jams. So now the toxins can't get out of the cells, the nutrients can't get into the cells, so now what you get? Well, guess what? If your cells drop by 32 to 33% of oxygen for a long enough period, you've got mutation. Oh my gosh, what's that called? Well, we are a cancer nation, aren't we? Cancer's everywhere. There's no cure. It's a bloody mystery. Wouldn't want to know where that one came from, would we? Okay. Hey, do you ever know that people call me sometimes, well, not people, my friends, I'm a drama queen. Well, I'm going to dramatize things for you because I need you to get them. Because there's nothing more valuable than you. There's nothing more beautiful than you. There's nothing more lovely than you. And you deserve it all. Unconditional love. Okay? Unconditional love. So how much do you love yourself today? How many times do you make a decision and do something and you know it's bad for you, but you do it anyway? Ew, you know that last part, the 95% that would rather die than think? Well, that's the majority. Okay? So what absorbs into the body faster than liquid? Gas, that endotoxin. So all the farting that these bad bacteria are doing is the same farting that now you're doing. Okay? Okay? All right. So, okay. Now, the waste of the bad bacteria, okay, is this endotoxin. And it's only going to get worse because unless you're going to change. So unless you're going to make a radical change in your life, don't ever think you're going to get rid of any disease. And the other thing I want to tell you something, when people come to me, I say this. So how many people do you know that have a chronic disease and actually turn the chronic disease around and they get their vitality, they get their youth back, they get everything back? Well, that's how I work. You tell me that that's what we do out there in the health industry. We don't. What we do out there is we try to manage pain. Well, I'm not going to manage anybody's pain. We're going to create the perfect day so that they eliminate it. Okay? That's just like right now I've been asked to go to this resort and bring a doc of detox down there in Mexico. And what they're doing is they're saying that, you know, they want to have assisted living. And I said, I'm not going to be any part of it if you want assisted living. It's called empowered living because when people come down here, they're not going to need assistance anymore. Okay? Let's get it straight. Why is it that we want to hang on to the most valuable part of what we know and we don't want to give it over to others? Because guess what? We think we might be out of a job and then we'll lose our identity. Okay, so what causes these bad bacteria? Well, stagnation, we talked about that. Poor diet, dehydration. How many people drink enough water? You know, you think you do. It's all in your mind. If you're a woman, go fill up 3 quarts, 3 liters, and let's see if it's gone by 5 o'clock. If you're a man, let's fill up a gallon, okay, to 5 liters or 5 quarts, and let's see if it's gone by 5 o'clock. And then you're going to tell me, oh, I feel like I'm going to drown. Well, in today's age, you better do it. And you better be using structured water. And I'm not going to go into that, but guess what? It's not a gimmick. Because why did God pick it as his water? Because that's what God created for us. The creator of this planet has structured water, not filtered water. Check it out, okay? And also, structured water is your cheapest water to actually purchase. All right, so we know that stagnation, poor diet, dehydration, prescription drugs, okay? All right? Chemo, radiation, okay? These are the things that cause your bacteria to go rogue, to go bad, and you're wiping them out. You can even get so toxic that the stem cells that create your organs, that create your tissues, whether it creates the heart or the brain, when you're so toxic, those stem cells, guess what? Instead of being created to make your heart, they make cancer. So you bring your toxicity down, or that's how you trigger cancer. All right? Now understand something. You're going to love this. But antibiotics are a form of chemo. And they are wiping out your good bacteria. And if they're not wiping them out, they're turning them mean and angry. Because guess what? If somebody comes along and they punch you in the face, and then they punch you in the face again, punch you in the face again, you're either going to lie down and take it and die, or you are going to fight back. And that you're going to be angry because that's what it's going to take to fight back. So your bacteria are fighting back. They don't want to die. but they will become bad. They will become mad, and they will make you the same thing. You will become bad in the way that your health is, and you will become mad. Oh, you don't think that your bacteria can control your mood? You don't think that your bacteria are destroying that beautiful relationship with your children, with your wife or your husband? And you actually think that everyone's against you and the world is a bad place. But meanwhile, the only thing that's bad, it's oozing inside of you and coming out and creating this personality. Remember something, you only see what you believe. That's right. And guess what? If you want to change, then you're going to have to change parts of your personality, to change parts of your reality. And you better believe it. And if you can believe in that, then you will see what you need to see. Okay? So understand, the other thing that really messes up your gut is anxiety, fear, doubt, and worry. Okay? You make me sick to my stomach. Huh, really? See, your emotions control your stomach. Your emotions can actually take your bacteria and just rip them apart. Rip your immune system apart. You can destroy your whole life. Well, this is who I am. I'm sensitive. Well, you better get over that. You better learn how to find that Braveheart warrior. And you better start having unconditional love for yourself and taking a breath and understanding that your family and almost everybody you know are emotionally screwed up. Okay? So mind your own business and understand something. That everybody's talking from their subconscious. So whatever their beliefs are going to rule, fool, and school them. So when you say, you make me sick to my stomach, you know what? Then why are you hanging around with that person? Really? I can't digest this. He's leaving me. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Something, you just can't take it because you haven't taken action. You got to take action, or you're holding and you're suppressing all this stuff down in your stomach and in your intestines, and the worst of it goes down in your bowels, because who's going to look in your SH beep beep? Nobody. Nobody's going to go in there and look for that stuff. God, it's a stinking mess. But you can hide all the stuff you don't want to deal with in there, and then it's going to blow. Okay? All right. I feel like you've been hit below the belt. Of course you are, because you're reabsorbing your own waste. All those toxins are going down into the valley called your pelvis. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. My stomach is in knots. Well, of course it is. Your large intestine is long. It's 30 feet long. And when you get all this, a big poop stuck in there and all that bacteria going bad, right? Inflammation comes. And then guess what? You got inflammation and spasm. So it makes you feel like your stomach's in knots. My gosh, you got to get this, guys. You know what? You actually think you need a medical doctor for your health. You need to unleash and wake up the unseen practitioner from within. You need a medical doctor for emergency care. How often does that happen? Well, you're going to have it all the time until you decide to master that beautiful mind that will master that beautiful body of yours. That's the reality of it all. So that's what it boils all down to. So, all gassed up and ready to blow. This is what we're doing. You know what? I'm just always on edge. I just can't take it anymore. These kids are driving me nuts. He doesn't understand me. Well, that's because you don't understand yourself. The most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. And if you've got bad relationships with anybody else, it's because you don't have a good one with yourself. End of story. End of story. Challenge me on this one. I double dare you. Okay. So, you know those bad bacteria? You know that large intestine that nobody really gives a care about? The one that's sticking down or hanging out or tied up all in knots, okay? That's the same thing that's causing most of the low back pain that you're going to the chiropractor for and you're needing a massage for. That's right. That low back pain, that eventually then you need surgery because of the scar tissue, the inflammation. Well, that was all because of your bowel. Because how could anything else go wrong in your body unless you were going to let yourself absorb all this waste and waste away? That's why we call it wasting away. Wow, did you hear? Yeah, she's really sick. She's wasting away. Yeah, did anybody maybe think about looking at her bowels and the way she urinates? Because you'll always know when someone's dying on their way. Because their bowels aren't working properly and they're not urinating properly. Yeah, you look at the plumbing, you can look at the health. There it is, right there. Bing, bang. Okay? Look at the plumbing, look at the health. That's all you got to do. All right? So, low back pain, that's where it's coming from. Kidney problems? Oh, I got kidney problems, man. Well, yeah, for one thing, you hardly drink water, okay? And then you don't drink structured water. And the other thing is that you think you poop right, but you don't, okay? The whole world thinks it goes to the bathroom properly, right? Well, if you're not having bowel movements every day and you feel completely light in there and completely energetic, then you're not going right. That's it. End of story, right? And then guess what? Kidney problems, all of this stuff, you know, I just need a doctor. I just need a doctor. You know, we're always in panic mode, aren't we? And we always talk like it's not my fault and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, guess what? Corporations have done that to you. They have dumbed you down so much and they have got you to believe that you are broken and you're not intelligent. Did you forget who created you? I'm telling you right now, and this is not a pitch, but people come to me from all over the world. They do. They fly here from all over the world. I do consultations for all over the world. I'm not a local guy. And we get the worst situations where people only have so-called days to live, and we turn them around. When you get to the point that you have such low self-esteem and low regard, disrespect, dishonor yourself, you've been programmed that way. There's nothing wrong with you, except you bought into a really bad program. And I'm telling you, people are dying all over the place because of their thoughts and the image they have for themselves. And because guess what? If the doctors can't figure it out, then who in the hell could? Well, why don't you have faith in your creator and believe in yourself and then start learning how to create the perfect day in every way. Okay, so let's move on. Bladder infections. Well, why wouldn't you have bladder infections? How could you ever have an inflamed bladder, a toxic bladder, unless you're absorbing your own waste? I'm going to get into this more later. We're going to be doing these one-a-days, and I'm going to get right back into what really matters. You couldn't have a prostate problem unless you had a colon problem. Oh, yeah. You heard what I said. You can't have an ovarian problem, uteral problem, okay? Because guess what? When it rains, where does all the water go? Down to the lowest level? Where would that be? The valley? Okay, what's the valley called? And now, for most, it's called the valley of death. And that's your pelvis. You give me a person that's 30 years old and over, and I'll show you 2 baby fists of scar tissue, inflammation, cysts, and all kinds of crystallization in your pelvis. And you guys, you wonder why you can't pee right. And you women, you're always dribbling, okay? Or you always have bladder infections, okay? Or your prostate's inflamed, okay? This is the answer. So I searched the world over to find true health and found out it was at my mouth. But what are you going to do when the scar tissue is so bad down there? Well, we got to pull it apart. That's what's called Wolfe Non-Surgical. Listen, I can take a fibroid the size of a large orange and I can reduce it by 40%. I do it. It's on itroh.com. I show it. International Training Institute of Health. But no, all health practitioners are going to try to get you to take things by mouth and hope the heck that the nutrients all get down there and they're going to crack open this hard nut. I don't even know anymore. Okay, all right. So, let's keep going. So now you get that sharp pain under your ribs. Oh my gosh, you know what? I have a pain right up in here, and I think it's my liver and my gallbladder. I don't know what to do. 99.9% of the time, what it is your cecum, okay? And your cecum, I'm going to cut my head off here, is right here. This is the start of your large intestine. And it comes up around here, over here, comes around, and then out the pooper. Okay. Your cecum, the waste gets there and it gets so dry that then the gas rises and rises up underneath your gallbladder and liver, and you think you got gallbladder and liver problems, and that's a lot. Listen, a gentleman came to me, and he was a surgeon, and he's to take gallbladders out, and he said, you wouldn't believe how many people come to us and they don't even have any gallstones. We take their gallbladders out. Okay, or they didn't need to come out because it was just sand. So understand something, okay? It's a gas attack, not a gallbladder attack, or not a liver attack. And it can be, so I'm not telling you to ignore that. I'm just trying to say in a lot of cases. Or you get what? You get right here in your solar plexus. Oh man. Or heartburn. What do you think that is? Gas rises. Did you ever go see hot air balloons? Well, what do? They rise, don't they? Well, hot air rises from that manure pile that you've created down there called your large intestine. Okay? All right? What about breathing problems? My chest feels so heavy. I've got asthma. I've got a breathing problem. You know, we just like, it's like, we always talk about we have these symptoms and these disorders, but there's nothing we can do about it. Nothing we can do about it. We're just cursed by God. That's it. That's right. We're all cursed by God. We're sinners, so that's our curse. We're just cursed to come down here and live in pain, right? Never really get what we want, which is unconditional love for ourselves and others, and total vitality and health, and pass away as we leave this planet peacefully. No, we have to have the last 10 to 12 years in pain and suffering because that's the majority. So, gotta live with that. So all that chest pain, tightness. Let's keep going. Do you know, why don't you do some research, guys? Do some research. 95% approximately, it all depends, I guess, what hospital, what country, where you go. But around 95% of everybody that gets rushed to the hospital with heart pains, okay? Guess what it is? It's angina, okay? All right? It's not a heart attack, it's a fart attack. The gas rises and puts pressure up here and I can't breathe. And then guess what? It's anxiety. Oh yeah. Men have anxiety too, and they're the ones that get rushed there. And of course, men overeat more than women do. So then they've got more rotting, more putrefaction, more gas. Add the gas up with the anxiety, and now you got a fart attack, heart attack, right? So where do you think the enlarged heart comes from? Well, for one thing, you put all that pressure on the heart's wants to build bigger, to pump bigger. So that's why. And because what happens is that, remember something, you don't drink enough water, you don't drink the right water, and then you don't eat properly, you get glicky, sticky blood, which means your heart has to pump harder because you're absorbing your own waste from your large intestine into your bloodstream. That's why your liver is sluggish, and that's why you've now got chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia. So anyways, that heart has to pump harder. When that heart has to pump harder, it's going to get bigger. Hey, if you want to push more weight, you got to get bigger, right? Get those muscles bigger. Let me tell you something. When people come to us and we do deep tissue, which everybody should know, one person in the family should come and take our courses, and that's it. You want to end the pain, suffering, you want to end the emotional and physical toxicity that we're all just trying to kill ourselves on a certain level here, then you need to look at our courses. So here's the reality. You can believe it or not believe it, but I worked on 2 people just this week. They were men, okay? Usually men more than women, believe it or not. And right above their heart, around the heart area, it was 1 inch higher than on their left side where the heart is, than on their right side. And meanwhile, they're right-handed, so this should be bigger, but this was bigger. And this is because guess what? Because guess what? My heart was broken. my heart is broken. My heart is in pieces. My heart feels empty. My heart is always getting hurt. So guess what? You build all this scar tissue around your heart to try to protect it. But it also comes because of the inflammation, because of the gas. That's right. Man, it's just like this stuff just boggles the mind of scientists and medical doctors all over the world. It's amazing. Yes, I am sarcastic. There's a reason. We need to take our health back so that we can help our families. I hope you know something. Do some research. Okay, do some research. 10% of the teenagers in high school are obese. Forget about the overweight. Do some research. They say that if your child is around 12, 13 right now, that they will live 12 to 13 years less than their parents. Do your research. Okay, all right. So, let's keep going. So then there's your mouth. You know what? Whether you believe this or not, your gum problems, okay? Canker sores, okay? The burning in your mouth. When your mouth looks hairy and thick, that's fungus. The burning in your mouth is acidity and toxicity. The canker sores, they come from the last part of your small and large intestine because you're backing up the fecal waste, okay? Your receding gums, well, that comes from your large intestine. You can believe me or not believe me. Why do you think it's happening? You know, no dentist is going to tell you that because there's no money at the other end. He's not going to give you a toothbrush for there. And guess what? One morning you wake up and you roll over and you go to kiss your husband and he goes to kiss you and you go, oh my gosh, honey, please, please, go brush your teeth. Okay, you got bum breath. He certainly does. He's been sitting there not moving, so the stagnation's not moving, so he's not moving his tummy around at all or getting any liquid in there, so it's really rotting. So in the morning, he's just like got this terrible sock odor breath. That's his bowels. And that's that putrefaction. Okay? Oh yeah, but just go brush your teeth. And like I already said, you know what end the brush needs to be. Not here. The other end. Okay? And then you've got sore throats. Sore throats, it's all around the cecum and the appendix. Okay? You've got to move that waste. All right? Ears, eyes, nose, same thing. Inflammation, infection, it's all coming from there. You're going to get fungus problems, inflammation problems, bacterial problems. Why do you think all these eye disorders? It's not just from the blue light. Okay? It's the poo heavy. That's what's happening. All right? And then brain problems. Like, I got brain fog. Well, of course you got brain fog. You're reabsorbing your own waste all the time. Okay? Understand something. Brain fog. Okay, so I got brain fog. You just can't keep. Go into a barn, like I said. Start inhaling the fumes of a pig barn or a cow barn where there's no windows open. Because there's no windows in you. Because you need to poo. That's the only window you got. The back door. So let the gas just keep building up. What do you think? It's not going to go to your brain? And that's why you feel nauseous. That's why you feel dizzy. So smelly armpits. Whoa, smells like my bum. Okay? All right? Smelly groin. Where do you think vaginitis comes from? Most of vaginitis is leaking of the waste from your bowel. Where's your vagina compared to your large intestine, like your sigmoid colon and rectum? So guess what? We know that the majority of colon cancer is in the first 4 inches, right? Oh, isn't this something? The last 4 inches has more cancer in it than anywhere else in the body. Okay. And did you also know the first 4 inches is where you make your decisions? And you opt for something that tastes great, and then 4 inches of pleasure and 30 feet of hell. So don't ask yourself where vaginitis comes from, because it just means vagina with inflammation. Vagina with inflammation. Whoa, there's a breakthrough. Where'd the inflammation come from? Putrefaction, which caused the infection. The infection caused the inflammation. The inflammation was to tell you that your vagina, okay, is decaying, decomposing. And a lot of people are going, he's over-exaggerating. Well, what do you think cancer is? It's part of your body rotting. Every disease in the body is where those tissue cells are rotting. And the tissue cells can't be rotten if you don't have rotten thoughts and if you don't have a rotten bowel. Okay? All right. Okay, so where's the energy center of your body? The energy center of your body is just below the floating ribs to the pubic bone. That is where 80 to 85% of all your energy is stored if you don't have a lazy, toxic bowel. If you got a lazy toxic bowel, then you don't have any energy. End of story. So it's called the mesentery, and it's a lining that holds all the main organs of your core together. And in that mesentery is where all this energy is stored. And that's why we tell you to do belly button therapy in the morning and at night. Check out my website at Doc of Detox. It's the most amazing thing. You know, when you do belly button therapy, right? And you bring up your temperature by 1 degree. What happens when you do that is you actually bring down infection and inflammation. When you bring it up 2 degrees, you can actually, wow, turn cancer around. Go figure, by playing with your belly button. Most important button you'll ever press is your belly button. Your belly button was connected to your mother, so that would kind of be right, wouldn't it? So understand something. If you start playing with that belly button and do the belly button therapy, okay? No, I don't have one here. Anyways, and you do the belly button, you trigger the vagus nerve. Did you know that the main part of the vagus nerve is right behind the belly button? Did you know that the belly button is in the very center of your energy grid called your core? That's where 85% of your energy is, not from your brain. Your brain takes up 85% of the ATP you make because it's always going, because it never stops. So if you go and do the belly button therapy, you are going to unleash 70% of your serotonin, 50% of your dopamine, which is the healing, relaxation, good feeling, happy hormones. And do that. Do it 3 times a day if you need to. Okay, all right. So that's where your energy is. So where's your core? Is it on the floor? Okay, are you spoiled rotten? I bet you are. Because guess what? You think that you're normal when you're actually abnormal. But you're normal in this society. Because this society is trying to off themselves. First, what we'll do is that all the systems out there that you believe in, or most people believe in, have taught you to not love yourself, to actually hate yourself. There's only 2 emotions. If you actually loved yourself, you wouldn't have any inflammation, any pain, any sickness. And you can say, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, guess what? I'm the guy that gives the money back guarantee to my patients. As long as they want to follow the rules of unconditional love for themselves and total forgiveness. And if they're going to listen to everything that I ask them to do, and when I'm wrong, they tell me I'm wrong. But until then, you got to believe in someone, and you better start believing in yourself and have faith with that which created you. So guess what? We know that 85-90% of the population is rotten to the core. So we know that we call this the time of harvest for the pharmaceuticals, for the medical system, and for everybody else that is feeding off of us. All right. And guess what? That was part 3. A little long, eh? Okay. I'll try to make it shorter. So we're going to have part 4 tomorrow. But let me talk about something. I want to talk about this. You see, that's the structured water unit, okay? And right here, this is called fulvic concentrate. Now, I want to explain something to you, okay? Do not drink any water unless it's structured, because why wouldn't you want to take your water molecule from your water droplet from 3,000 molecules down to 6. When you do that with this simple thing called structuring, which you don't want to believe in, which will give you a 90-day money-back guarantee to prove that I'm right, you will be able to drink 1 quart of water easier than 1 glass of water, because guess what? Before pH, before all the minerals that are supposedly needed in the water, structuring is first and foremost. That's why that which created the planet structures water. It doesn't try to make it alkaline, and it doesn't try to make it antioxidant. It makes it structured. So that's the first thing. And then guess what? Fulvic, don't believe me, do your homework, go to PubMed. PubMed is a place on the website that talks about all the science behind things. And fulvic acid, okay, in this liquid form, you should put 1 teaspoon in every liter or quart of water you drink. Trust me on this. Guess what? You ready for this? This product has no nutrients in it. This product is nano. Ours is nano. Ours is mechanically made, and ours is free of toxins. Now, when you take this product, it goes in and it will collect the nutrients around your body that are not getting to where they need to go. It'll collect up to 60 to 70 of them. It'll load itself up, carry it into the cells, drop it off, And then guess what it does? It doesn't leave the cell until it loads up 3 to 4 times its weight with toxicity. Again, don't believe me. Check out science. So then what it does is it actually will leave, and when it leaves the body, it keeps it in there. It doesn't return it back to nature. It picks up heavy metals, acidity, okay, chemicals, GMOs, right? And right down the cellular level. But also, did you know that fulvic carries more metabolic oxygen into the cells than anything else we know? So are you going to gently start loving yourself every day, or are you going to make yourself into a 911 crisis like most of the natural health business wants you to, okay? And the medical system, that's exactly how they perform. It's called, let's create the emergency and run to the bloody rescue, okay? Sounds like let's create a war and then ask everyone else to fight it. Like that doesn't happen, eh? Okay, all right. So these are 2 things I'd really look at. And then the third one is these are foundational, is our daily cleansing tea. All right, there's no laxatives, no stimulants. And you know what? You take 8 ounces in the morning, 8 ounces at night. So if you just did that, where's your insurance policy? Where's your prevention here? You know, your body is 80% water. Okay, your brain is 90% water. Your blood is like 95% water, 98% water. So let's just bring everything back to logic, okay, guys? And understand something. You were the greatest thing that was ever created in the universe, and you can heal from anything that you really, really, really believe. You got to believe it in your heart. And you got to know that the God that created this planet wants you to be well. And if you hold yourself in a sinner's position and you hold yourself with guilt, well, understand it's not happening. Won't go into that any deeper. Okay, so those are the 3 things I would do. And then guess what? These are all going to be helping your intestinal health. But if you want to bring your intestinal health around, Tummy Love, there's nothing like it. Tummy Love, okay, this product will end constipation. It will help end diarrhea. Because understand something. I don't like selling good bacteria. I like getting mummy's bacteria, even if there was just one of mummy's left, which is in everyone. We can make that into trillions and trillions and trillions. Okay? So I would get on Tummy Love, okay, because that's exactly what it is. And I would get on Black Gold Humic Fulvic Powder. You can take a look at it. You can mix this with your blendy drinks, put it in your soups, you can cook with it. It's amazing. This looks after mainly the digestive tract, whereas the fulvic is going into your bloodstream, along with the water, structured water, okay? And the daily cleansing tea is, our daily cleansing tea works on all the detox organs in the body, because your whole body's a detox organ. And the reason why we get sick is because we don't gently cleanse every day. And because we live on a toxic planet, we let it build up because that's what we've been told. Oh, do a cleanse every 6 months, every 9 months. Yeah. So when I feel like a piece of poo, then I'm going to cleanse. Anyways. Okay. So the last thing is called humic. Now, humic, all right, it's a bigger molecule. And what it does is it likes to capture things like viral and bacterial, and it will knock out parasites. Okay, they can't survive with it. It'll balance the hormones, help people with weight loss. It does a lot of other things. Don't try to take the research off my website. You can read there. But I want you to go to PubMed and read about the products and the things and the ingredients that are in my products, and go to PubMed and then let science either prove me right or wrong, okay? That's what I would do. Okay, so look at, I want to thank you guys for joining me on a Sunday, okay? And just know this, the power is yours. You have the power. It's all inside of you, okay? And understand something. I always want to give you more and more and more, and I'm going to keep giving you more. You know, when you finally find unconditional love for yourself, you will find what you're passionate about in life. Because as long as you're running a hate program on some level, and I know you're going, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, you're either running a love program or a hate program, right? You're either waiting for everybody to fill up your heart and come and save you, or it's a self-serve job. That's the reality of it, okay? Okay, so I want to thank everybody for joining me. And stay tuned for part 4 tomorrow. How's your plumbing? And also, if you want, you can join me tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a show at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time called Light Up Your Home, Light Up Your Life. So, so flush the pounds, guys, and lighten the load, and we'll catch you on the lighter, brighter side, okay? And we'll catch you on the lighter, brighter side when you become number one at the art of number two. God bless, and know that you're loved. Take care.